Cue the music.
Use the Force, Luke.
Sometimes truth isn't good enough.
I feel the need for speed.
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna?
Cause it's their time. Their time. Up there. Down here, it's our time. It's our time down here.
Ho, 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 Merry Christmas. Or howdy ho, depending on what your speed of Christmas enjoyment is. Welcome back to Frostcast, everybody. We're going to take a peek at all kinds of fun stuff today. Christmas movies. We're going to keep it light. We're going to keep it fun and merry and jolly and all that good stuff. We're going to bring King Z in. He's got a very interesting list of movies that I know he wants to bring up. And once again, I haven't seen most of them. So we're going to have King Z give us his rendition of the things that I've missed. And we'll compare notes on some other ones. But I wanted the only rule.
Watch movies?
I feel like I did. I thought I did. I don't know. Maybe I was doing other stuff when all these movies were popular. I don't know. I've been doing some other stuff. Who knows? We'll have to go back and review. So I think the only stipulation, and I don't even know that I can get you to agree to this in case something's like off the charts important you want to talk about. No cartoons. Like we weren't going to do like the classics, like the Peanuts Christmas, Frosty, Rudolph, like that. We weren't doing those. We're legitimately doing live action films for the most part, with my one caveat of the movie that I have to talk about, because even though it's Christmas adjacent, I would say.
So our initial four, I believe we went with like comedies, lighthearted Christmas.
Yeah,
movies.
that was the initial idea. Yeah. So without any further ado, dude, you just pick any Christmas movie you want of the four, of anything else. I'm ready to go. What do you want to talk about first?
Let's
Merry
put it
Christmas,
on Oracle.
welcome back.
Oracle fit.
Okay, let's see. Random selection incoming.
Boom, boom.
Okay. All righty. So this was a first watch for me. So Kingsley, why don't you give me the Santa Claus thoughts?
So I remember watching the Santa Claus when it first came out. Now it's not claws, it's claws, like a legal clause.
There's a legal clause involved.
Yes. And then it's a very funny movie about a man who becomes Santa because Santa dies on his property and he reads the card that's in his suit.
And did you read the card? Did you read the card? Then that's all there is to it. You know, like, dude, this movie was funny right up until the part where Santa fell off the roof, and then I don't remember laughing again for an hour and a half. I don't
come
know.
on. Like when he was going to the doctor and he was like, you put on a little weight. He's like, do you call this a little weight?
He did the jiggle fat truffle shuffle thing from 1992. And I get it. But like this was like Tim Allen at his peak, right? Like this is like we're on like Home Improvement. Like, and every time he cuts a joke in this movie, all I can hear is Al being like, I don't think so, Tim. I'm like that would have been funny. Al should have been running the workshop, not Barnaby or whatever his name was. Who the hell was that guy? Who put him in charge? You know,
Bernard. That's it. Bernard. Yeah.
Bernard, Barnaby, Barnacle.
Yeah, it's the guy from Numbers.
Numbers? Is that an
hot Jew?
Got nothing. I gotta save that for the 8 Crazy Nights talk when we get to that movie. I wanted more out of this. I get what they were going for. They were trying to do like the charming broken family gets back together, but not all the way back together. Like they find a new path with like the stepdad. I know you know the stepdad because that dude's in everything in like the 90s and early 2000s, like 80s. He's in your movie,
Ruthless People and stuff.
He's in Beverly Hills Cop.
Yeah, Beverly Hills Cop.
He's Beverly Hills Cop. Yep. I thought he was a bit of a D-bag and a D-nozzle for the large part of the film. And then all of a sudden I guess I laughed at the end where he's like, what did he want? All I wanted was a whistle or
a weenie whistle.
A weenie whistle. And I'm like, I bet you do.
Right, from the Oscar Mayer weenie whistle.
Right. And like, so that took a turn for kind of the funny, but like not a lot of funny stuff happens after Santa falls off the roof and this dude gets fat on his job. And I'm like, all right, where are the jokes? And I wondered, right? I was thinking to myself after the fact, would this have been a funnier movie if it was written on the level or in the vein of like Bad Santa? Like, could Tim Allen have worked in a grown-up movie with some of his stand-up and done more of a punch like that? You know what I mean? That might have worked better. But like, it wasn't bad because they made 10 of these, right? They made how many sequels to this?
I know it goes up to 3. Because the third one they had
Hey, Travis. Merry Christmas, dude.
Jack Frost played by Martin Short in it.
Yes. And I think that they're doing the revival because, you know, they canceled Tim Allen for a little while, you know, in the 2000 teens or whenever. He got a little bit of the cancellation thing when Last Man Standing was a show. It got canceled and picked up by someone else.
Got picked up by CMT.
Right, that's right. I think that I saw there's another Santa Claus coming through at some point because he's the politics of the world is changing around, of course. So I think he's back on like an upswing, and people want more of that kind of movie. But I don't know. It didn't work for me. Like I said, once Santa fell off the roof, and I audibly laughed at that. Like that dude tumbled off that roof and hit the ground like a sack of bricks. So pretty good. So that's not a bad first choice. I can't. The chat's too small for me. I think Travis has a second comment up there if we wanted to pull that up. Thank you much. 3 Santa Claus movies and a show on Disney. That's right. There is a show. That's right. There is a show. I thought I saw that.
Yeah, we don't talk about the show.
Yeah.
It's only the movies. Only the movies.
And I wouldn't talk about probably a Santa Claus show on Disney Plus any more than I'd want to talk about Willow on Disney Plus
or any show that they put on Disney Plus at this
Secret
point.
Invasion. Or it goes on and on and on. Yeah, I don't know. Have you seen 2 and 3, or did you just know they were out there?
No, I've seen 2 and 3. So the second one is the Mrs. Claus. He has to be married.
Yep, I remember the name.
Or he gets desanified.
Desanified.
Yeah.
And 3 was the escape clause, right? Like there's a way to not be Santa anymore. Is that what that was?
Yeah, and Jack Frost tries to steal it from him. Played by Martin Short.
And I'm sure that's a banger performance. He's a funny dude.
He is a very funny dude, very talented actor.
Sure. So I don't know. I'm glad I watched this. I can cross it off my Christmas bucket list, but like honestly, I don't think this holds up to some of the other movies we're gonna talk about coming up. So why don't we bring up the next one?
All right, Oracle. It's on
Random.
you.
Bring them up. I got the list. We can do whatever. Yeah. Okay. See, now we're talking. Here's how you know this is a better movie than the Santa Claus right off the rip, because TBS, TNT, and the USA Network aren't giving you 3 days of back-to-back Santa Claus. They are giving you 24 hours of A Christmas Story, and I think that's been pumped to 48 hours on some networks. So you can watch this 24 times on your holiday weekend if you really wanted to do it. My personal best, I shit you not, is 7 viewings. 7. That's pretty ballsy. I go yard for this movie. What's that?
And you still don't know this movie.
Oh, dude, I know this movie. Dude, we can mute this, and I can give you the one-man show of a lifetime for A Christmas Story. You'll shoot your eye out. Like,
I hear a challenge.
Dude, mute it. Dude, live watch party. You schedule it. Mark it down. We could absolutely do that. If there's nothing not funny about this movie, it still holds up. It's still wholesome, hilarious. I love the little Ralphie's voiceover. Is some of the funniest shit ever because some of it's so dry. You're like, oh god, meatloaf. My mother hadn't had a hot meal in 30 years. Like that shit's funny. I don't care who you are. Like it's good. There's nothing but good stuff in here. What's your favorite part of this movie? Like, honestly, you pick it. There's a bunch.
So many good ones, and the funniest one is based off your tagline there: "A triple dog dare you, the flagpole."
Mm-hmm.
And what's even funnier is that my dad was that kid.
Get out! He
told me the story that he did that on a dare to see if it actually worked.
Dude, I've never done the tongue on the thing. You know what I did do one? We had the right weather one year. I took my glove off and I put my hand on one of those like steel guardrails. And yeah, no, that's no joke, dude. That shit hurt pulling my hand off.
Mm-hmm.
I can only imagine sticking your tongue onto a pole and standing there like an idiot. You know, I was able to pull my hand off, but it hurt. I was able to do it. But man, dude, that played funny. Then Flick comes back to class and he's got his tongue out, his ice hanging off of his mouth and shit. I love everything about that movie, man. I like it captures so many things about not just like wanting the gift that you hope beyond hope that you're gonna get, but like you got the school bully thing, you got like the weird stuff with like the teacher, you got the obnoxious little brother. I got 2 or 3 of those. You know, there's so much of it that just makes it a perfect encapsulation of growing up in that kind of household, minus the radio program and, you know, your dad fighting a furnace, which that shit cracks me up every time I see him run downstairs to fight that thing. Not a finger. Like it's like she just can't.
It's the modern day don't touch the thermostat.
Yep, 100%. Except I'm going down there to work it with a crowbar and a hammer. Oh, dude. My favorite part of this movie, everybody, it's the you shoot your eye out thing. No, it's not. It's when Ralphie drops the lug nuts outside changing the tire. Right? And then I said the queen mother of all bad words.
It did not say fudge.
I did not say fudge. Oh, God, shit. Dude, I love that.
I love you to say that.
That's what I thought you said. That's good shit. And then the dad gets in Ralphie gets in the car all quiet, right?
Yeah.
And then dad finishes the tire, gets in the car, and goes, "Do you know what your son just said?" And mom's like, "Well," he leans over.
Yeah.
And she's, "What?" And she spazzes. It's great. It's too funny. It's too funny that somebody figured out like all these little buttons you push that are just hilarious because you can see where growing up in that spot would have been. Like even the thing with the pink pajama bunny suit thing.
Oh yes.
Like we all have that oddball great aunt, great grandma who doesn't know kids' names, stuff like that, and just sends you the wrong gift. You know, read them out as you go, man. You're good.
Have you seen My Summer Story, the first sequel? No, I'm gonna have to say no on that.
Yes, because that's the one where Ralphie is saving money for a car, if I remember correctly. I think it was that. I think I remember seeing that. That's old. Yeah, that goes back a ways. I saw that at Blockbuster back in the day.
I've never seen that one.
And there is a Christmas sequel. Travis said first sequel. There's a Christmas one called A Story of Christmas Story or something like that. Ralphie's grown up and he's got his own kids that go through the Christmas experience. And I've never seen that. But I do remember the summer story. It was Ralphie as a teen. I think he wanted a convertible or he wanted a car or something. And it was that kind of thing. But dude, I could watch this movie on a loop. Dude, I love the Chinese restaurant at the end where he just chops the goose's head right off there. That's some funny stuff. And then they don't do it anyway. So, it's a little dated. You know, some people might say it's a bit xenophobic. It's not, dude. It's just funny. Plenty of Chinese people laughed at that shit in 1983 when this came out. Like, get over yourselves, modern people. You're not. I will die on this hill. I will die on the Christmas story.
The Santa Claus that kits him in the face.
Oh, God, dude, what do you want? Oh, no, you shoot your eye out. You're getting a football. Boom. No! That's good shit. But let's talk about the bully getting his ass kicked because that kid had it coming.
Yeah,
that's a lot of wish fulfillment in that one. Right, so this kid's terrorizing the block the entire movie, and then after Ralphie gets dogged by the teacher, this dude decides to feed him a snowball at 90 miles an hour. Shit was on like Donkey Kong after that. Woo! But he stuck it to him and beat him bloody. And that's what people don't remember about this movie is he beat that kid's ass bloody until his mom came. His mom probably saved him some jail time. Let's be honest. His mom probably saved him because he was just going at it. The ground and pound was working, dude. The ground and pound was on. You know,
that's how it was back then. That's what it was back then.
Dude, what's that one super Herb Dean, big Herb Dean, the ref for UFC. The Herb Dean wasn't around to like dive on top of the bully and cancel that shit. Like, no, Mama had to come.
Or Steve to come break up the fight on stage.
Yep. Nah, dude, Mom had to come put her galoshes on and like walk down to the junk lot. There was like a busted up car in the background and shit. Like, doesn't seem like the safest neighborhood. I'm gonna be honest, you know. Dude, I love that movie. I could watch. I could do that if that's on TV. I can pick that up from any part and literally stop what I'm doing and enjoy the hell out of it.
And you're not even going to talk about the most prestigious award.
Oh, the thing, the Dakota pen? No, the lamp. The lamp.
The lamp.
It's a major award.
I always hated the lamp.
You used all the glue on purpose. I love that. And they says we buried the award that night in the yard. And I can never be sure, but I thought I heard the sounds of taps playing in the background slowly. Good shit. Oh, dude, good stuff. Good stuff. Travis, again, back when movies got quickly gnarly and mean-spirited, this is like a Stephen King story without the horror. Dude, yeah, I'm saying. Where are these movies now, man? It's like people could still stomach it. There's still I firmly believe there's still a market for these kind of movies. Within like their limits. People aren't going to sign up for like the Christmas Story, like gore porn. I don't need a Christmas story mashup with Saw.
Yeah,
no, you can kick the bullies. Let's pump the brakes.
Christmas.
right. Jigsaw, a very Jigsaw Christmas, dude.
Very Jigsaw Christmas.
Interesting. That might be one worth exploring in the writer's room sometime, just to have fun.
A Christmas on Elm Street.
The Nightmare Before Christmas on Elm Street. Dun dun dun. You can figure it out. I think we're on to something here, guys. We'll have to recruit the chat. Thanks, Travis. Good point.
Friday the 25th.
Friday the 25th. A silent nightmare before Christmas on Elm Street. We got to get off that. We got to stop that. That's going to spiral out of control. Yeah, I'll be watching this shit when it comes on. I'll leave it at that. A Nightmare on 34th Street. Nicely done.
Yes.
Nicely done. I don't know if Miracle on 34th Street is going to make our list. I have it on the global list here, but I don't know if we'll get to that in any kind of detail. So I'm glad it was mentioned, though, because it is a classic. What do we have next on our line? Up there, here we go. You could just take over. I'm going to go get a sandwich. You take over on this one.
The greatest Christmas Carol movie ever made. The Muppets Christmas Carol. Not only does it stay accurate to the story, it adds an element of a musical plus the comedy of Muppets. It is a perfect microcosm of what a Christmas movie should be and has to be from here going forward.
It really should be, dude. It should be a gold standard. I think I probably saw this when I was a kid a gazillion years ago and then forgot completely about it, right? You told me the other day we're going to put it on the list. You're like, Jim Henson's son did it, as an homage to his dad, or in the spirit of his father's work. I put it on. I watched the first 2 minutes where they're in the street in town at the very beginning, and the Muppets are interacting with real people, and I'm like, I can't watch this. I can't do it. And I went back to it on a day off and watched it. And I'm like, this is enchanting. This is better. This is better than the last 7 consecutive Disney movies. Not even close. It's really not. And I figured out why. And I don't remember if I told you. It's because Michael Caine sells the hell out of this movie.
Yes.
He slays. Dude just slays. Right? He treats it. He performs the story with like the seriousness of a heart attack in the middle of a car crash falling into an earthquake until the end when he progressively lightens up as the story goes. But like his front at the beginning is stone. And he sells he slays. He sells the shit out of it, and like it makes it all the more effective because you got all this other. It's goofy because it's Muppets, but it never goes full tilt goofy, really.
Yeah, it never goes over the top.
Right, but otherwise, it's played pretty damn seriously.
And then Gonzo as Charles Dickens telling the story.
You're not Dickens.
That whole interaction at the beginning.
Yep.
And the Marleys were dead.
Well, that's a pretty morbid beginning. Oh, wow.
That's how it starts. I told you.
And of course, your tagline tonight, light the lamp, not the rat. That was pretty funny. That's actually a line from the movie that comes up for a little bit. They do. I think does all the really goofy stuff really just happen between Dickens and Rizzo the Rat, between Gonzo and the Rat? Like, it's pretty much limited to them because all the other puppets are played on the nose. It's a little funny with like the bookkeepers. Every time Scrooge shouts, they jump. You know what I mean? But it's not overboard.
How cold would it be in the unemployment line? I'm like, we're having a heat wave.
Dude, they're dressed up in the Hawaiian gear and the hula skirts and shit. That's what I mean. The sight gags are on point, man. It's so enjoyable. So enjoyable. Big fun. I like the musical elements that they added. I'm singing along with Scrooge at the end of the movie, like a clown, down here in the office. I'm like, but it's the Muppets, man. Like it works, and it's sad that they can't do that anymore for what jaded, cynical ass reason. Oh, you did exactly right, Travis. It's the same way Ghostbusters works. Through the wackiness, Sigourney Weaver plays it as dead serious, so it feels real, right? Because she's the straight, you know what I mean? She's the straight guy in that scenario. The same way Venkman mostly offsets the weirdness of Spengler and Stantz.
Yeah, he's the funny scientist. Right. He's the guy who's smart, but he plays on the football team too. But
he likes girls, you know what I mean? And he's okay putting the science down to go hit on the clients, until she became a dog. I should get some
of this petty cash. Shall we take her out? We don't want to lose her. This feast right here represents what's left of the petty cash.
Now, dude, is Ghostbusters a Christmas movie, or is it Ghostbusters 2?
It's a New Year's movie.
2 is a New Year's movie. right?
Yeah.
At one point, I think in the montage in Ghostbusters, when they're doing the rapid fire
They're
defeating of the ghost, one of them has a Santa cap on, I think. So,
yeah, when they did the montage of when they were
Yes.
becoming big, but the
When they were right
actual
after they-
events
Yes.
never actually happened on Christmas.
Right, okay,
But
okay.
you could go to Ghostbusters 2, which happens right after Christmas, leading up to New Year's.
New Year's, right? Because the finale is New Year's Eve, right?
Yeah.
True. So it's, we'll say, unlike Lethal Weapon, which is directly a Christmas movie, or Die Hard, directly a Christmas movie.
Mm.
Ghostbusters, tangentially.
Roll it out. It has
Tangentially, I would say.
Yeah, because it's just them running with the Santa hats. You don't know what day it is. It could be December 15th for all you know.
Dude, it could be June 11th. Who knows? I mean, maybe they just needed a hat for whatever dumbass reason. I mean, who knows? Yeah, dude. I'm glad. Once again, I'm glad that this was a movie that made the list. Muppet Christmas Carol. It's. I'll throw this in there because it's probably one of the only ones on the list. It's completely family friendly, obviously, because it's Muppets. There's nothing that you should hold your kid back from in watching it.
You should encourage to watch this with your kids.
100%.
It's one of those great movies. It will be. They'll remember it forever because it's just that fun.
And the Disney Christmas Carol. I know we're not going to do cartoons like on the list. I just wanted to compare. I remember there being scary parts of that as a kid, especially with the Ghost of Christmas Future at the end of that, and Ebenezer Scrooge seeing his own grave and things up to that degree. So there was some scary stuff there cooked into the mix in those old Disney movies.
The same one where they did the Polar Express version of A Christmas Carol, where they had Jim Carrey play Ebenezer Scrooge, like they did Tom Cruise in Polar Express.
I forgot about that. I forgot that weird CGI,
that weird
Valley
CGI
I've
era.
never seen it. Yep, that was definitely weird. Yeah, true. All righty, what do we have? Oh, hold on. Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, he brings Thorazine with him on the date. Generally a no-no in the dating scene, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. You generally don't want to bring just any random sedative with you on a date, because he didn't know she was a monster when he got there. Just saying. And not for nothing, he had degrees in psychology and parapsychology, and guess what? Neither of them gives you a license to practice, boys and girls. Neither one. So not to prescribe anyway. So you might want to back off on that Thorazine stuff. Generally not a thing. But yeah, there we go. Let's what do we got next? Yeah. Okay. All right. You'll crack up. You see what they did there? Even box covers were better in the 80s and 90s. They really were, because I think
puns.
They put thought. It's like Mages Guild said last night when we were doing our Doom Prophecy review. Guys, go check that out. The video's doing pretty good for us, actually. When you hire people that are talented and also care about what they're doing, like they have like a personal vested interest in it because their name is on it, so it's on some level it's more than just a paycheck. You know what I mean? Like, oh no, it's going to say King Z in the credits forever, that worked in direction, that worked in lighting, that worked on whatever set design. You want your name out there because it helps you get your next job. It builds community and connection and networking and all that good stuff. So even putting together box art feels like it has more effort put into it now than like when they use AI to draw crappy images these days to like put on a thumbnail on like YouTube or Hulu or whatever. That doesn't track. Doesn't track at all. So Christmas Vacation has, in the last 5 years, is when I really started getting into it, right? Really love the Christmas Vacation movie, because as I've gotten older and had a kid of my own, it's kind of like the opposite of A Christmas Story for me. Now I get the Chevy Chase character in this movie. We're like, dude, you just want the fucking holiday to be nice. You just want people to get along. You want the dinner to be okay. You don't want the in-laws to come by and overstay the welcome. You got to outdo the neighbor with the fucking lights, because last year he way overdid it and you felt like a dick. Like, yeah, dude, I get all that now, man. I didn't get it before. I get it now. But there's not
the yuppie neighbors next door.
Dude, Julia Louis-Dreyfus as one of the neighbors is hilarious. Her name's Margot. I don't remember what the boyfriend's name was, but like, they're such the yuppie D-bag neighbors that every time something bad happens to them, you just laugh.
Yeah.
Like when the radio gets destroyed, they're like, how'd the radio get wet? Who broke the window? I don't know what's fucking going on. Like, and they're just that's what I mean, dude. They're side characters that have 3 scenes, right? That have like a total of 90 seconds on screen tops. But like, we're talking about them and the jokes from those scenes 30 years later,
Yeah.
Like, I don't remember what we talked about Skeleton Crew a half hour ago from episode 4. I don't. Because the kids went somewhere and something happened.
That's the whole synopsis.
No, you'd have to tell me.
Two Home Alone 3 villains.
Read
next door.
them as you go. You're good.
You got 2 Home Alone 3 villains next door. Oh, yeah.
Right, talking about with like Christmas Vacation, like the style of villains that they are. Yep.
Yeah.
So I get the Clark character in this. Again, there's so many good sight gags that get set up and paid off when like the uncle visits and he's got the bad rug, and like finally like it's getting all twisted out of place and then it gets set on fire. Like there's nothing not funny about that. The turkey that explodes into like green toxic gas, like because he cooks it wrong. It's just a bad bird. Too funny. We got, what was it, a raccoon or a squirrel in the tree?
It was
like
a squirrel
jumps
in the
out,
tree.
Squirrel, right? There's just too much shit. The bit with the lights where it's like, please, and he hits it and cues up the hallelujah or the ode to joy or whatever. And like the whole neighborhood goes lights, the reactor goes down at like the Hoover Dam. The whole city goes dark except for his house. Like it's funny. Like it's it's good stuff, man. It's good stuff.
Him counting on his Christmas bonus, and then
Oh,
he
yeah.
gets the letter for the jam of the
the month club. And the best part about that is when they hit the resolution at the end of the movie, and like he says that to the boss, and the boss's wife, she goes, "You didn't, or she says, you dick." And she's like, because yeah, she's hoity-toity, she's a wealthy woman, but even she knows it's a dick move. Like you don't do that.
We were going to do Christmas bonus this year.
I love the fact that like the main crux that runs into the finale of the movie is something as normal as like wanting on the Christmas bonus. Like it's not, oh, I need the magical MacGuffin snow globe thing to grant my dying kids because it's a comedy. It's supposed to be funny, but they grounded it in some shit that anybody that's ever had like a corporate America job knows about, like the company I've been at 4 years, we've had bonuses 3 out of the 4. We had a bad year 2 years ago. Didn't happen. Like it set a tone for like the following year for months. Like people were upset about it. You know what I mean? Like it definitely hurt.
Yeah.
So them having that whole thing to give Cousin Eddie an opportunity to do some Cousin Eddie shit, to go kidnap this jackass in an RV with a bad septic system was good shit. That Travis, that doesn't surprise me, and I bet on the internet there's about 10 million people that could say that because Randy Quaid's gotten arrested lots of places. I bet. But that's a good little piece of real world trivia.
Yeah,
but, dude, I love the family. I love the two kids.
Wasn't she cross-eyed? Got kicked by
they went straight. What was that girl's name? What was the young one? Ruby Sue.
Ruby Sue.
Yeah. I think Santa's going to give us the shaft like this when they're at Walmart and Clark's putting shit in the cart and he puts a bunch of ornaments or eggs in the one shelf in the cart. And then Eddie throws a bag of dog food on top of it and just smashes it. Dude, that's what I'm talking about. It's a little thing. It's a sight gag that lasts all of 3 seconds. And then you look up at Chevy Chase's face and he sells it with the what the hell just happened thing. And then they just move on with the movie. It doesn't need to be undermined. It doesn't need to be reinforced. It's just something that happened that's in character for each of these two guys. Cousin Eddie's a dick. He doesn't know what's going on. He isn't paying attention. He's just destroying shit and taking things. Yeah. And then Clark's just like, I'm the family man. Okay. Well, maybe next year it'll be better, Ed. How much do you need? Oh, get something nice for you too, Clark. You know what I mean? Like that's good shit. That's just good stuff. The grandparents in the movie even are funny as like support characters. The two sets of parents are very different.
Yeah, it's strangely different.
You know what I mean?
Wasn't the great grandparents that showed up the one who brought this cigar? Famous.
That was one of their. It was like an aunt and uncle. It was one of the. Okay. It was one of the grandparents' siblings.
Yeah, because he threw his cigar into the tree. Yep. Into the tree.
And then the great aunt's like, and the home of the brave play ball. But that's such an old lady joke from like a 40-year-old movie. But I like it. I don't care if it's a throwback to a simpler time of comedy. It's just fun.
It's fun. Yeah, like you definitely to understand the light scene because he's up there, he's putting all the lights up, and then and then he just can't get it to work, so he's checking every bulb again. 25,000
bulbs, he says. Right? 25,000, and of course that, and I'd have to go back and check the dates, but I wonder if this whole bit was the thing that inspired the 12 Pains of Christmas song wherein one of the lines is, "You put up the fucking lights." Like, I wonder if that's because we all know that. Because if you guys don't know, because see, all you guys in the chat that are all like 25 or whatever, you have LED lights.
Yep.
And they're easy.
You put in the
cheap.
yard and it just shoots up onto your house.
Dude, I
Does,
got a
like, different
hologram of a
patterns.
snowman outside right now that has like the magic of like, what's the country in Frozen? You know what I mean? Like it's that in a snowman beamed on my house. You know, it was $60. That's it. I remember my dad having to string shit up at risk of peril and breaking his neck. And then if one, it's like the song goes, one light goes out,
the whole string goes.
The whole strand of 100's going down, right?
And they
these
didn't have
kids
the
don't know how
nice
good they
little
got.
light gun you have now that you plug it in, you squeeze it, and it tells you which light is bad.
Get out of here.
Yeah, I've been trying to find one for 4 years now. They're always sold out.
Dude, because it's
looking
literally
at
like
Lowe's.
we have indoor plumbing, the tire, sliced bread, and that device. Like that's literally where that ranks in human technology. Saving Christmases.
You have to think like how bad things were when we had to compare everything. It's the next best thing since sliced bread. Like how bad was it before sliced bread?
We have not made a lot of progress if we're still referring to that. You know, my Warzone won't connect. It's the greatest game since sliced bread. It's not, but you know what I mean.
We need to make the game sliced bread.
Dude, where was I just saw that? Where was that? You borrowed that from somebody. That's a gag I just hand to God, I saw that gag somewhere. I just saw that too. I can't remember.
The game sliced bread.
Just like Fruit Ninja, where you're just slicing bread.
Well,
there you go, it's mobile.
All right, what we got here? My first exposure to this movie was probably seeing Rocky's family watch it in Rocky.
Christmas movie. Yep, Rocky 5.
When I just be the lawn ornaments of the candy cane.
Yep. Dude, I still remember he hollows one of them out. Like he dings it up like he crumples a car with it. It's great. I love that. It's too funny. That whole bit's too funny. Like they all gather outside to watch him put the lights up and they don't go. And his dad's like, oh, you know, this and that. Yeah, you tried, son. That's the important thing.
I can see it in my mind, and it's beautiful, Clark.
It's beautiful, Clark. Dude, I know. Good. You know what doesn't get a lot of we can end on this one just real quick. The intro to the movie has that it's like a little animated cartoon of Santa touching down on a roof, and then everything goes wrong.
Yeah,
like he falls through the snow on the roof. A snow thing falls off the roof after him, like Temple of Doom. It's all kinds of crazy.
There's
shit.
fire in the fireplace.
That's what I'm saying, dude. It's like a Looney Tunes cartoon at the beginning of your movie that tells like the whole story of Santa falling. It's like the Santa Claus, but nobody takes over. It's crazy. But even there was so much effort went into that I'm like, dude, where the F are these movies, man? Bring this back. Please start trying again.
Or the very beginning too, when they're trying to cut down their own Christmas tree.
Dude, that's right. That's the first scene.
It's beautiful. You know, she can't see. Her eyes are frozen.
Audrey's frozen. They're like, hey, did you bring the saw? And they're like, nope. So they pan in and then the whole tree and the roots to the top of the station wagon, but it's like a 60-foot long tree. So it overhangs the hood by like 15 feet and it's coming off the ass end. So too good.
And then you recognize his son who plays Rusty, which Rusty's always the son's name in all the Vacations.
Yep. This was new Rusty as Johnny Padalecki of Big Bang Theory fame.
Yes,
indeed. Because this was the second pairing of the Clark kids. They stuck around for this one only because the original two got European Vacation and Vacation.
First one was Vacation. The second one was European Vacation.
And then when they went to Europe, when they did Vegas Vacation, they had two other.
Yeah,
they had a different Rusty and a different Audrey, a much better looking Audrey. Oh no, Juliette Lewis is pretty. Wait, no, who is the daughter in this one? Because she grew up to be in like Pulp Fiction, bunch of other shit.
Yeah,
she was good looking, but the daughter from Vegas Vacation is very hot for Vegas Vacation. Can you pull up that comment from Travis there real quick? I want to read that one out because it says reboots that I can see. The last one down there. There we go. For the reboots of ruined characters, actually Clark becoming senile in the 2015 Vacation is very funny. Dude, exactly. There's wiggle room to play with that because it makes sense for the kind of harebrained, scatterbrained, limp dick from the end of Christmas Vacation. That was a great monologue he went off on. But it's in line with his character. So if he gets a little ditzy and screwy like that, I'm not as offended by that as making Indiana Jones like a depressed bum living in an apartment by himself, divorced from Marion. You know what I mean? It's comedy. They can do that.
The dog kept
That all
up for the
makes
first 7 miles.
Good shit. He was just running. Trying his best. Good stuff. Now when summer rolls around, we're definitely gonna have to work on like a classic summer or maybe road trip movie.
Road trip movies.
We'll have to put a pin in that. But what's our next Christmas movie here? I don't even remember what we got.
That's our original 4. So I guess we gotta go to the list.
I'm going to the list. I'm gonna check it twice. Hold on. All right, let's bang out a couple of classics real quick, right? Just to get the old black and whites out of the way.
Okay.
Hit you with The Wonderful Life and Miracle on 34th Street. When was
Two
the last time
classics.
you watched or thought about either of those?
So I was in a waiting room somewhere, and they had Miracle for 34th Street on. I haven't seen A Wonderful Life since I think I was a teenager.
Now, the Miracle on 34th came out at an interesting time because there's a black and white and a colorized one of that, I think. Because I swear I've seen that in color, but when I was looking around for info for tonight, I only saw black and white stills. But I swear I've seen that colorized.
It might have been when they did the Technicolor thing.
I
where
must
they-
have been given the time, yeah.
Yeah, they
late
did. They did the
40s.
Technicolor, and they made black and white color. It was
True.
like it kind of like just added color to it. It wasn't shot in color. You know what? The first movie to ever be that ever had color in it.
I'm gonna say Wizard of Oz, but that's
Yes, good.
Oh,
good.
look at that!
Let's hit it right on the head.
Boom! Every now and again. Every now and again.
Broken clock's right twice a day.
You know what I'm saying? So I got one more to go, and it's only 9:30. I like both of these movies, but they're not. I think they're so, and I hate to like dump on things and say that they're old, but they're so old that I think the storytelling technique and the pacing is wildly different than what I'm accustomed to, having started watching movies in like the 80s and 90s.
Yeah, you don't
There's
say
a
it's
certain-
bad. It's just different.
Right. It's different. It's wildly different, but it's still structured similarly. Certain beats happen at the same place, like when the initial crisis comes through, like in Miracle on 34th. It's obviously when Santa gets arrested for being a perceived not bad kind of thing.
Mhm.
And then the finale and denouement all happen right online. They get the Night of the Soul scene where the mom of the young daughter is at her absolute lowest, and the little girl's bummed because Santa might miss Christmas and this and that. But then, of course, it swings into the finale where the letter carriers, they just start praying, oh, well, if he's crazy, then all these people must be crazy, and all the letters just get dumped on the judges on the bench. That's so good. So good. It's like I like those Christmas movies that give you can do the comedy, that's always great, and the family values is always great. But I like the hope stuff more around Christmas. And that's what Miracle on 34th Street and as depressing as It's a Wonderful Life can be, it's all about how, dude, well, if you weren't here, well, think of all the terrible shit that like would have happened to other people. Like,
Yeah.
this is what would happen. That whole movie is the ghost of Christmas future
Which
if you're
you
not here.
You take that same story and then you have The Family Guy with Nicolas Cage in it. It's the exact same story, just put in a more modern era and not called the same.
That's what I mean. So like those classics will always have a place in the rotation. I think they're both in like the Congressional Film Vault or whatever it's called. They're both like protected, you know what I mean, for eternity because like they've earned their spot. Excuse me, but I'm going to lighten the mood a little bit though, because Travis mentioned them in the comments in relation to Christmas Vacation. Home Alone, probably one of my favorites, probably one of my all times, because there's nothing unfunny about that. That's not funny now in 2024. That's as funny as when that shit came out in like 1990 or 92 or whatever. That's old.
Yeah, well, the sad part of that movie is that he got all of that stuff at the store for $14.75.
Yeah, and his dad somehow afforded that house and the all expense paid trip for 30 people to France.
Have you heard the fan theory behind that?
About the dad in the house, or about Kevin growing up to be Jigsaw? Because I think that's stupid.
No, that his dad is a mobster. And that's how he afforded the house. Because when he comes in and he sees the top and he's not surprised or anything like that, he says, "Am I under arrest?" Like, is he used to it? Like he's used to saying it.
But he's clearly joking. He's not, am I under arrest? No, I don't know, dude. That's a Reddit smoked itself silly kind of fan theory, and that's okay. They're fun, dude. It's just a dude who probably was in the corporate stuff in the 90s when everything was great and everybody had a bunch of money. Like you said earlier about discretionary income. That's how you were. And mom probably worked too. Mom probably had a job. Day trader. Nailed it. See?
Yeah.
Or day trader, according to the King Z theory. He's in construction and waste management.
That's right.
Yeah.
Waste management. And for some reason, he owns a bar down the street.
Dude, I can't believe you know that either, Travis. But nicely done. And it lined up into what we were figuring for his dad. But like, again, it's such a bizarre setup for a movie, but it seems so easy. Like when you think about like the mainline plot, it's family went. There was a miscount, and a lot of people do that too. I love those stupid, cynical posts on Facebook where they're like, "How could she not have known the kids weren't there?" I'm like, they show you. They're doing a head count. The neighbor kid slips in, and Kevin's just not there, so they count 12 and they go.
Yeah, because his back was turned to him, and he was
right, and he had the hat on. You couldn't see him. He was behind.
And Kevin was
kids.
known to be doesn't abide by the rules.
Right.
So,
dude, 11, 9, 12. All right, everybody in. Go, wheels up. Go. It's like, dude, don't.
And they're also running behind. Like
right.
they're behind schedule.
Well,
my thing is, when did FedEx start providing passenger transport? I didn't know FedEx did that back in the day.
Dude, who knows? It was what? Are you sure it was a FedEx van?
Yeah, it had Federal Express right on there. It was
it's right.
FedEx. There was Federal Express.
Dude, interesting. But that leads into one of like and again, it's like there's a fun factor to old movies, like them getting out of the van and getting to the gate to get on the plane. Number one, I'd love to be able to clear airport security like that again.
Oh,
where they're playing Run Rudolph in the background, and 40 of us are just booking it through gates, jumping turnstiles, and running down the what's the thing that's called to get you on the plane?
The jetway.
The jetway. Like the people just full tilt sprint. Like, dude, I had to stand in one of them for 10 minutes to move 10 feet forward, to wait 10 minutes to move another 10 feet, and that's in the jetway. I already sat in the lobby and watched the movie.
Yeah,
all right, so these dudes run through too good.
Yeah, these poor kids of summer don't know how good we had in the 80s of being able to board flights, be able to walk people to the gate and watch them get on the plane to fly away. Be right there at the gate when they land.
Think about it, dude. That's a scene largely missing now from like dramas, romantic comedies, and all that stuff, because you can't get within 1,000 feet of where people are leaving. You're leaving with the baggage check if you're lucky.
Yeah.
It's too bad. But like the Home Alone thing, right? The two burglars, Pesci and the other guy playing Marv. I love that. There's so many. The traps are so hilariously slapstick comedy. Dude, when he stepped on the nail. Yeah, that's worse than anything in 10 Saw movies.
Everyone feels that. Like, you even feel that, like, if you want to go to a quick horror one, in A Quiet Place.
Oh, dude, yeah, that's what I'm saying, dude. It's like,
everyone feels that moment.
Dude, have you ever stepped on a nail? Have you ever done it yourself, actually? Dude, it's terrible. Dude, it's awful. Awful. It's the worst. It's the worst thing in the world. But I've also not taken a BB gun to the face. I've not taken a blowtorch to the top of the dome. I've not fallen down a bunch of icy steps.
I have not taken a paint can to the face.
Paint can to the face. The bricks off the building is 2, right? Yeah, I think he's throwing bricks at him from the rooftop on 2. Because I remember, I'll tell you a funny story. One time I was visiting my dad. He loves these 2 movies. He loves the first 2. There's like 6 of them, right? He was watching Home Alone 2. I didn't know it. He started hearing belly laughing from the living room. You go in there like, Pop, what are you watching? I'm watching Home Alone. It's the scene where Kevin's throwing bricks down, and he what's his name? Harry, Joe Pesci's character, ducks out of the way, and the brick hits Marv, and Pesci goes, you missed me, a little snot. And Kevin loads up and throws another one, and Pesci ducks again, and it rings Marv up a second time, and he goes down. My dad has never laughed so hard in his life, right? I watched that whole scene, and it didn't occur to me until 2 minutes later. He was watching it on the Spanish channel, because it's that funny. You don't need to watch it in the language you speak, because the slapstick is so good. It's too funny. Can you bring up Travis on the Red Letter Media? Because I love Red Letter Media. If you guys watch RLMJ from that channel, actually lived in the McAllister. Dude, get out of here. Really? That doesn't surprise me. Jay looks like a rich kid that went to a good film school. But I like Jay. I like Rich. Rich Evans is a national treasure. Fact. But yeah, dude, Home Alone. The 2's okay, but the first movie really hits when he's like defending his house. You got the whole bit. He's still a kid, but he's trying to do grown-up stuff like shop. He's putting on the aftershave, and of course, that gives you the famous scene. Yeah. You know what I mean? Everybody knows, which has been
parodied over and over and over
into
again.
Oblivion in like SNL skits for years and everything else. You know, but I love the fact that, again, the setup and the payoff is technically sound in this movie. it's, Kevin says to his mom, the context is what I want for Christmas. I wish I didn't have a family. And she goes, you should be careful what you wish for. And then they just let it hang. He'd be very happy on little boy if that happened. And then, of course, he wakes up. He's happy that everybody's gone. He fucks around. He gets his pizza. He's jumping on the beds and getting into his brother's Playboys and his BB guns and shit. But he hits the wall through the movie when he has to do all that shit alone. That way, when she walks in the house at the end of the movie, if you're not welling up, check your soul. Soul check. Soul check. It's good stuff because they both sell the fuck out of that moment. And absolutely nailed at the end of that.
Her whole trip to get back from Paris is priceless as well. And that leads me into the part I was going to talk about is the John Candy moments in this. He filmed all his parts in 24 hours for free. For free. He did it as a favor.
Boss.
And he had to be somewhere else for another film. He's like, you got me for 24 hours. And he stayed up, didn't complain. He was actually, they said that he was like rooting on the crew and everything.
Yep.
To get everything shot.
Dude, he was that guy. He was 100% that guy.
A lost treasure right there in John Candy.
100% gone way too soon. Because imagine if that dude had another 30 years of comedy in him, like Jerry Stiller, Ben Stiller's dad, Jerry Stiller. Imagine if we are the guy that played Ray Romano's dad on Everybody Loves Raymond, like those guys, he would have been that guy. He would have had 30 more years to just grow into those kind of roles. The Google ad they did with Kevin as an adult, yes, was oddly wholesome. Yes, dude, doesn't matter. Still funny. Have you guys seen the ad? They have another one where it's that Kevin, it's got Kevin Hart, it's got Kevin Garnett, and then it's got like the three Kevins and they all answer at different times. That shit, I think that's the one Travis is talking about that has all three of them. Because the original one with what's the mom's name? I can't think. That's not Sybil Shepherd. I always want to call it Sybil Shepherd. It's not.
No,
I can't remember. It's Catherine something.
I know her's Moira from Schitt's Creek.
Okay.
So I remember her name.
Well, Moira from Schitt's Creek.
O'Hara.
Okay, there we go. Thank you. The original commercial they did was she says Kevin in the airport. It's Kevin Hart, Catherine O'Hara. Yep.
Yeah, there was a Capital One commercial.
Oh yeah. Because he's the president of Cash Backing. That's Capital One. Oh wait, is that a sponsored thing? Do we get money now? Because I said their thing. We don't get
what's not in your wallet?
Dude, what's not? Dude, if we're not getting paid, don't say their shit.
I didn't use theirs. I used a separate one. It was different.
All right. Oh, okay, cool. We're good then. So Home Alone, one of my favorites. I can go back to that one a lot. You got any other ones you want to wrap, or do you want to just keep peppering a couple more until we hit time off the list?
Just keep going.
Right, I got some good ones. I'll switch it up. Hold up. Let me get your take on, dude. Here's a good one because this was another first watch for me. The Nightmare Before Christmas. Let me get some thoughts on that.
I know a lot of super fans for that. I never really got into it. It wasn't my thing.
Same, dude. I just saw this for the first time last month. They did a re-release at the local theater, like the AMC thing, right? We got tickets. I'm like, all right, I'll check it out. I just saw Coraline for the first time, even a couple months before that. I'm like, okay, I'll check out some Nightmare Before Christmas, dude. I don't get it. I have no idea what that movie was about. I thought the music was kind of dumb. I didn't like much of the animation, even though it was similar to Coraline. Like, I don't get the hype here. I get the iconography of Jack Skellington and why that sells merch. You know what I mean? Secret, I have a gift for one of the people upstairs that's themed of the Nightmare Before Christmas. But like, I don't get the, I think it just appeals to a certain, like a subset of like folks into like the goth stuff, I guess. Is that what it is? But it's not me.
Yeah,
not for me.
I do know it's a very beloved movie by a lot of people. Yeah, and it just wasn't my thing. I think I've watched it once and I was like, okay, I've seen it.
Dude, I walked out of that movie and the first thing I said to Mrs. Wolf was, it's a good thing this movie was only 82 minutes long. Which was like, oh, why? I'm like, because I don't know if I had 83 minutes in me for that. I really don't. Like, I was bored. I was relentlessly bored. And if I wasn't in a theater, I'd had the phone out, just doing whatever, checking shit out. But yeah, dude, not that. Let's move on from that. If you didn't have anything overwhelmingly flowing to say about it, dude, let me hit you with an 80s classic, Scrooged.
Bill Murray, another take on the Christmas Carol.
Yep. There's some typical Bill Murray kind of classic comedy in there. The Ghost of Christmas Past, or wait, is it the Ghost of Present that hits him in the nuts like 9 times in the movie? So it's got some slapstick in there.
Now, I haven't watched that since the 80s, so I have not seen it recently, yeah.
All right, me neither. I just remember that. I remember if you were a kid and you watched a movie in the 80s or 90s, somebody got hit in the nads, you remember it.
It was funny. Yeah,
because it's funny.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's funny.
I mean, the greatest one, Monster Squad. Wolfman has nards.
Yeah. Take him in the nards. Dude, I see your nard hit there, and I raise you one Nard hit from The Sandlot, where I think the kid fires the ball into his stepdad and catches him in the dinger. Does that not happen in The Sandlot?
I don't believe it.
Like, what am I thinking of? Where this somebody throws a baseball and catches dad in the sack. I can't remember which one it is.
The only thing I can see remember the dad getting hit is Varsity Blues, where he nails his dad in the nose.
No, it wasn't that. It was definitely baseball.
I don't want your life.
I don't want your life.
The worst Texas accent ever.
I know, the Vanderbeek. Scrooge is funny, but it's weirdly the serious parts that get me the most. The ending, dude. Exactly, but that's what we were talking about, right? That a good Christmas movie, if it's not an outright comedy played almost completely for yucks the whole time, like Christmas Vacation, I call it like the Scrubs effect. Like it's funny, slightly down, funny, emotional gut punch. You just don't see it coming. You know, yeah. I think another great, like Scrooge is a great example for that. But I think let's talk about 8 Crazy Nights real quick before we run out of time, right? 8 Crazy Nights is that movie for me completely. It's an Adam Sandler movie in cartoon form. It's got hysterical potty humor. It's got all the one-liners you could want from a Sandler movie, right?
Yeah.
It's got some zany ass music. My brother and I sing "It's a Technical Foul," possibly a homicide. Like we sing that shit all the time because it's memorable and it's funny. But when you get to the reason why Davy is such a prick, and he opens the parents' the Hanukkah card at the end, and he's in the mall crying, and the cops are going to take him away and shit. You're like, oh, dude, no, it's like right in the feels. And then he goes to do the right thing and make sure he gets the patch. Like it's better than a comedy at that point. It's the Scrubs effect. You're vested in based on all the humor, and you realize he's a person that is just down because his parents died when he was like 12 and he never got over it.
Yeah.
You know, the only thing he saved from his house fire was the card.
Yeah, he acts up during that time because he's trying to hide the damage he has from that event.
Yep. I'm saying so. I could talk. The best part of 8 Crazy Nights is when he locks Whitey in the porta potty and tips it over. He gets out and Whitey's covered in shit. And Sandler's like, it looks pretty unsanitary. I better hose you off. He hoses him down until he freezes him like Sub-Zero style from Mortal Kombat and then just leaves him. That's some funny shit. No pun intended. All the puns intended. I love that. I love Home and 8 Crazy Nights when the logos are singing at the end of the card from his parents comes down. Dude, that's what I'm saying. I'm not even afraid to admit it. Like, dude, it hits because I've already spent 90 minutes laughing, right? And then they're like, oh, dude, the only thing he saved from the whole trailer fire was the card. And he's about to go to jail and he ruined everything for Whitey. Like, nah, dog. You got to make that right. And then the logos come alive and like wake his ass up. Like, that's good stuff. Okay, that's and of course we have 4 Hanukkah songs stemming from the whole. There's 4 of them. I didn't know there were 4. I thought there were only 3. And then randomly on YouTube last Christmas, he did. I don't think it's ever like been recorded on like an album. I think he did it live somewhere. And I'm listening. I'm like, that's not the Hanukkah song 3. Oh shit, it's something new. Sweet.
Yeah, the 4th one or the first one wasn't recorded anywhere either. That was done live on Saturday Night Live.
And right. And then 2 and 3 were studio albums. Yeah. Right, because then those are the best things. Because the Hanukkah 3 opening is like, I guess my first 2 lists weren't good enough, so here comes number 3. Love that. Dude, 3 has an energy to it, man. That whole thing pumps, and then at the end of it, he's like, "Good night, everybody." Good shit, dude. I love 8 Crazy Nights. I'm due to watch that. I love.
Hanukkah does start the day after Christmas this year.
Yes, it'll be up on the it'll be up on my rotation for them. Dude, still not a O.J. Simpson. Still not a Jew. Good shit. Some of those lyrics are really clever. Really clever.
He actually did an interview here recently where he was talking about, he's like, did anyone ever say anything to you? And he was like, yeah. He's like, one guy. And he came up to him and he's like, I'm not a Jew. And he's like, what do you mean? And he's like, are you offended that I called you a Jew? He's like, I'm not a Jew. And got like all like upset about it and stuff.
What's the lyric from the song? He goes, Tom Cruise, not Jewish, but my mother thinks he is. I love that. There's so many good riffs in those songs, dude. They're a lot of fun. They really are.
Captain Kirk and Spot spin the dreidel on Hanukkah.
Dude, I love it. Dude, if we wouldn't get copyrighted for it, I'd play all 3 of them back to back. I love 8 Crazy Nights. That's got to be one that we throw on. Dude, here's one that I think you'll like. Right? What about Ernest Saves Christmas?
Oh, the Ernest movies were they were good, and then they got really bad really quick.
True. A couple of them I haven't seen, but Christmas I've seen. Have you seen Christmas?
I'm not sure. I know I've seen the Halloween one, and then the
I
one
haven't seen
where
the
he,
Halloween one. I didn't know there was a Halloween one. Cool.
and then he did the one where he saves a camp. I think that was the very first Ernest movie.
That's Ernest Goes to Camp, right?
Yeah.
The plot on Saves Christmas is basically Santa needs to retire. He's dying or he wants out or something. And he winds up through events that he needs Ernest to help him reach the guy he's identified as being appropriate to take over. He's like the star of like a kid show, like a Mr. Rogers type, super wholesome, doesn't swear, doesn't like the changes that the studio are trying to make to the show or to get him involved in different kinds of movies that are for more adults. And he's like, I don't really think my audience likes that kind of thing. And they're like, shut up, dude. Just do what we tell you. We're going to make you a star. But there's also, of course, that B plot. There's a runaway girl who's, she doesn't want to go home because rules are bad or stepmom's mean or whatever. And of course, she has to find her way home by the end of the movie because Ernest has the Mr. Rogers heart of gold, teaches her the error of her ways. There's a lot of great stuff in there with Ernest because, of course, he's a lovable idiot. He screws stuff up and then he has to fix things. So he's goofy. He's human goofy, right? The Goofy movie is a great effing movie, by the way. It's a great father-son movie. That's
yes.
a banger. Right?
Yes, that is a good movie.
That's up there. We really ought to get a separate channel about we review kid shit, like parent appropriate. We really need to do that.
We'll have to start with Bluey.
Dude, expert. We just told that to Mage yesterday. You need to watch a couple episodes. I could send it. He wants to send me a Doctor Who playlist. I'll send Mage's Skill to Bluey playlist. Bring him to tears in 3 episodes. I guarantee it. But Ernest Saves Christmas. He gets to drive the sleigh, and of course, he calls out the reindeer names. And the dust fires up, and it's like rocket shot. Good stuff. Dude, if you haven't seen it or if you don't remember it, you need to go find it on stream. It's probably on Tubi. Yeah. I bet you it's on Tubi, dude.
Everything that's not on normal streaming is on Tubi.
It's on Tubi. I was just saying that to my mom the other day. She's like, I think I need another streamer. There's nothing on. I'm like, you got Tubi? And she goes, what's that? I'm like, it's got a couple of ads, but you sign up for free and just watch some shit whenever you want. You know? Good stuff.
You know what I mean, Vern?
You know what I mean, Vern? What do we got here? Let me a couple more here. We did that. Muppet Christmas. We did.
We could do a whole show just on Netflix Christmas shows, which are like the Hallmark style Christmas movies. Like you have the Princess Switch, the Princess Switch 2, the Princess Switch 3.
For sure.
Was it the Christmas Night? The Christmas
we'd have to bring my dad on because unfortunately my dad in his retirement age has become an expert on all Hallmark movies and K-dramas for some reason. It's like this dude just knows what the rotation is. You show us you do that thing where you show him a still image of a movie. You're like, oh, it's this from that person and that's the star. It ends when they get together. I'm like, everybody knows that.
I used to try to predict the movie before the opening credits stopped. Like before
based on the title.
No, you just start with the opening credits before the title shows, like how they used to do it in like the 80s and the 90s, early 2000s. And I used to be able to tell you what movie it was just by looking at the opening title.
I believe it. Read him out real quick.
It isn't great, but Jack Frost with Michael Keaton is a super nostalgic for me.
That's the one where he dies and comes back as a snowman, right?
That's right.
Never seen it, but it is on. It was on the global list. I was going to bring that up as a last minute one because I didn't know if King Z had seen it. I know it's fairly well regarded. I think people seem to enjoy it. It's very kid friendly, right? It's not because it's about him and his son, right?
Yeah, he's trying to he's trying to be a good dad through being a snowman.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah, it was also one of Michael Keaton, like when he took time off to start raising his own kids. That was like one of his last like premiere movies where he's put him out consistently. He took time off so he could be at home as a dad, and then he started slowly getting back into movies before he did Birdman. Like he was in was it the Other Guys? He was the police chief, but he had a very small role. Like that's when he started started climbing back into being an actor again.
Do you guys know if are there sequels to Jack Frost, or is that another series on Disney Plus also kind of thing? Because I feel like there's more than one. Because I feel like I've seen the trailer that says this Christmas the magic returns with Jack Frost. You know what I mean? Like one of those happy hippie shits. If Travis is still here, let me know if there's a sequel. And then the last one I would probably bring up. I feel like because you mentioned the Christmas Carol with Jim Carrey and tangentially mentioned Polar Express, but Polar Express, I did like the art style for that. The Uncanny Valley thing with the CGI didn't bother me. much when I saw that. And again, it's about keeping the Christmas spirit and always hearing the bell, and how some people outgrow hearing the Christmas bell kind of thing. I like that. I like that kind of messaging. But if you ask me about the plot, I have no idea what it was other than that kid got on the creepy train to the North Pole, and I don't know what happened after that. That's it. I just remember the beginning and the end.
Yeah, and then hot chocolate.
And hot chocolate. And then because they serve, like around here, we have there's like a local small scale Edaville Railroad, like a little mini amusement park for kids. They do a Polar Express thing in the winter, and that's always something they do. Is they give you the ticket, they punch it, and they give all the kids hot chocolate, which is kind of cool. Not cool when it's 17 degrees out and you've got a 5-year-old and nobody wants to sit there and do all those things and take pictures, but whatever, screw it. No, there's a few horror movies called Jack Frost. That's what I was thinking. I was thinking of those. I think it was the horror movies, those sequels. He dies in the movie. Spoiler alert, but I get it. It was 1994, Travis. I won't hold you accountable for that breach of my trust.
30 years ago.
Yeah, dude. Somebody said that the other day. It was talking about the Mufasa movie coming out, and there was watching a movie review from Film Threat, and one of the comments was like, "How come they're telling us the whole plot and who dies?" I'm like, bro, The Lion King came out in like 1991.
Yeah.
The main cast of the Mufasa movie are all present in The Lion King, and this is a prequel. Like, Vader was Luke's dad, Bruce Willis was dead the whole time, and Spock isn't really dead. There you go. There's a fucking trifecta for you.
And then you can flip it in the J.J. Abrams, and then Kirk comes back.
There you go. There we go. So we covered all your screw you, these movies 30 years old bases. Cool, dude. I think we comprehensively covered the list. The ones I didn't bring up, I'm okay with not staying around to talk about. I haven't seen half of them anyway. But I endeavor to see. I need to rewatch. I think I need to rewatch Scrooged before this Christmas season is over. I need some 80s comedy to like lighten the mood. I think that's going to be pretty good. I'm looking forward to that, dude. If are you going to catch up with anything that you haven't seen? You're going to watch 8 Crazy Nights? What are you going to do? Anything?
We'll probably watch a few things. I know we watched a little bit of the Netflix rundown by the last 2 weeks. So I've seen a few. We'll see what happens.
Cool.
Spirited we'll probably be watching, which is another take on A Christmas Carol.
Cool.
It has
a story. Makes sense.
Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds in it.
I saw that on my title bar. I was like, that sounds familiar. It's not the animated, because there's an animated one called Claws that I think is a little bit, it's a few years old on Netflix, but I wanted to take a peek at that. It was on one of those top 25 lists. Dude, yeah, Travis says Beverly Hills Cop 3 is 30. Yeah, dude, no shit. Welcome to the party, pal, to quote a different classic. But I think that's going to do it for us, guys. We've hit our time. We did our list. We checked it twice. I don't care if you're naughty or nice. That's your business. I'm not here to tell you how to live. So to King Z for the profound goodbye, so I can get out of the sweat cap and get back into something comfortable.
All right. Ho, ho, ho. Now I got a machine gun. See y'all later.